Our participants, please uh, unmute yourselves and make your video on, turn your video on. The judges are here. The honorable judges are here. Please turn on your camera and mute yourselves. Okay. All right. With this, I would like to start by saying good evening to all ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants, and distinguished guests. It is with immense honor and profound respect that I stand before you today at Dr. Ashok Kumar Mohapatra Memorial National Moot Court Competition 2023. Today, we are privileged to welcome Advocate Mr. Prabhu Prashan Behera, Central Government Council, Government of India. Welcome, sir. And Ms. Pratyusha Kiran, Lord STJM, Hindol Dhenkanal. Welcome, ma'am. Heartfelt welcome, madam. The board graciously agreed to adjudicate the round for our moot court competition. The presence is not just an honor, but a testament to the high standards and the spirit of the excellence that the competition embodies. And on behalf of Dr. Ashok Kumar Mohapatra Memorial Committee and all the participants, I extend our heartfelt gratitude and warm welcome to our esteemed judges. And with this introduction on, I may, I may, with your lordship's permission, stands to begin the competitions. All right, petitioners.
I think some sound is coming. I think another round might be going from your side. Shilpa, can you just mute yourself? No, still sound coming from AKM. AKM 5S1. Some background
Yes,
noise
Your
is.
Honor.
Can you mute?
Actually, there, guys, do you have two phones with you right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Join from one link.
Uh,
If you have two phones,
yes,
two systems, then sit separately in two different rooms.
separately. Yes. All right. Now we can begin, sir.
May the court please confirm whether counsel is properly visible and audible? So much obliged. The counsel acknowledges the gracious presence of the bench. However, for the sake of the gravity of the procedure, the counsel seek kind consent of the honorable court to address the court as Your Honor collectively.
This
Much
is
obliged.
which round? Quarterfinal round.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Quarter final.
to this specific question to my sister judge, you have to, if there is specific queries from her, you have to address your ladyship.
Yes,
Keep it
Your
in
Honor.
mind. Collectively,
It's
it's okay.
fine.
Collectively, it's okay. But when there is a specific question from my sister, you have to address your ladyship.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Please.
Your Honor, we are the counsel for the petitioner, who are Monica and Candler. And if the court may please the counsel seek permission to give the brief of the fact.
Yes.
In a nation called Silverland, with diverse religious people lived here, and one of those are Monica and Candler, the petitioner, who have married each other according to their ritual, respecting their own religion. However, they have been deprived of their right as the state doesn't recognize their marriage because as they demanded for the adoption and in the and subsequently Monica and after the death of Candler, while Monica demanded for LIC, the LIC authority denied, just stating that they don't have any legal marriage certificate. And subsequently, another organization called One Code Movement, they have filed an PIL for implementation of UCC in the state of Silverland. And the Supreme Court have closed both the PIL for the hearing. And if the court may not have any preliminary queries, may I proceed with my first submission?
You want us to have some preliminary queries? We don't mind having queries. You want us to have some queries?
Certainly not, Your Lordship.
So what is the difference in these two type of cases? There are two litigations, right? One,
Yes, Your Honor.
both are PILs.
Yes, Your Honor.
What is a PIL?
The first, Monica and Candler have filed a PIL for the recognition of their marriage and to get the right of adoption,
Correct.
which is denied by the state.
Absolutely. Now, what is a PIL?
He's asking a very, my brother judge is asking a very specific question, and that is, what is PIL? What do you
PIL
mean
is
by
first of all,
PIL?
yes, it is. It includes
I
three words:
guess
public
that's the
interest
question.
litigation. Yes, it includes three words: public interest litigation, which literally means the litigation made for the protection of the public interest in a state.
Correct.
In the case of violation of their fundamental right or any constitutional right, the citizen can plea for the protection of their fundamental right through PIL before the Supreme Court.
Mr. Counsel, if
Yes, Your Honor.
your fundamental right is violated, like you said, petitioner wants a child to be adopted. So it is her fundamental right. That is what you want to tell, right?
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
why public interest? That is his personal interest.
Your Honor, as I stated that the Monica and Candler, they belong to the LGBTQIA plus community, and it covers a large section of the society. And besides this, they both
But so
belong
far
to
as
the
your first statement is concerned, in which uh, you insisted upon having some preliminary discussion, you only said that they wanted their adoption to be executed. They wanted their marriage to be recognized. That is why they have
recognized.
filed.
Yes, Your Honor.
So it becomes
Yes,
a
Your Honor.
personal interest. How
No,
can
Your
it
Honor.
be public interest? From your own statement, we are saying we have not seen the record. You only made that submission.
Okay, like if you,
Your Honor, Your
You
Honor,
can
the
reserve
PIL
this.
has
Huh. Yes, yes.
the PIL has been filed for the recognition of the same-sex marriage as valid.
Okay. So how marriage and adoption in this case are connected? You started with adoption, now you're coming to marriage.
Your Honor, I will deal with the first two issues, whether PIL is maintainable and
No. That
that.
okay. We will hear that. Now the query for our understanding, uh, how the marriage and adoption is connected. You started with adoption. Now you're saying it
adoption
is
actually.
marriage. Is there any correlation? Is there any connection?
Yes, Your Honor, as given in the fact in the para 7
Yes.
that the Central Park Authority have denied the unmarried person and the LGBTQIA plus community for the adoption.
Correct.
They cannot adopt the child. LGBTQIA plus community cannot adopt a child jointly, and for which their fundamental rights are getting violated.
What is the which fundamental right is being violated?
Right to equality, Article 14.
How many types of fundamental rights are there?
6 fundamental rights, Your Honor.
6.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What are they?
Right to life and personal liberty, right to equality,
All right.
right to freedom of religion,
Okay.
constitutional remedy, right to constitutional remedy under Article 32.
Okay.
Right to freedom also.
Yes, Your Honor. May I refer to the book, Your Honor?
Obviously, you can. You should. Anyways, I think your researcher and your partner can help you. So which fundamental right is being violated?
Your Article 14, right to equality, and
How do you
Article
say that?
21,
How, how do you say that right to equality is being violated?
Your Honor, as all the heterosexual couple are getting the right to adopt a child, meanwhile the all the LGBTQIA plus community or the same-sex couple, they are getting denied for that right, which is a violation of the right to equality.
What are the components of right to equality? When you talk about right to equality, there is a specific component to it. What are those components or ingredients, whatever you understand?
May I discuss with my co-counsel, Your Honor?
No, no, you discuss, but okay, keep it noting. Okay, you now. I think we let them argue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes,
It's
yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please,
So the
please.
first issue raised before this honorable court today is that whether PIL is maintainable or not,
Okay.
and the PIL filed by Monica and Candler,
Yes,
Your Honor,
yes,
and they have come before this court under Article 32, which
yes.
provides a constitutional remedy
Correct.
by the Constitution, and as they are being denied for their adoption, and also while Monica demanded for LIC claim after the death of her spouse, the LIC authority denied the adoption.
Counsel, what is a spouse?
Only, yes, Your Honor.
What do you mean by spouse? Is there any legal
So,
definition for spouse? Or
so
in this, yes,
one of the partners of a couple or
partners of a couple. I mean, I don't know whether law or any legal provision is there for the word couple. Is it there? So when you were saying spouse, um, you may take this train of explaining how come the petitioner number two is is the spouse. Why do you say so?
as
yes, basically.
they are
Wait, wait.
they are
There is
married.
a question coming, please. Yes.
No, no, there is no question. I just wanted to simplify what my brother judge want to ask you. He just want to ask you, like, there is a definition for what do you mean by a marriage as in Hindu Marriage Act, under Hindu Marriage Act, what defines a marriage? So that because since we are entering into a legal debate, we can say where you have to define that how the fundamental rights of the Monica is being violated. So before that, you have to explain, matlab, you have to answer this ki, under the legal purview of in matlab, whatever the laws are there in that particular country, how a spouses or how a couples are defined or how their marriage is defined in that particular country. मतलब
Yes. So
जैसे
far
कि
as
under a
couple is
section.
concerned, we can accept. But when you use the term spouse, then it has got. We'll have
And
to
for that, you
understand.
have, yeah, and as spouses, as partners, you have come for the fundamental rights. That means you need to say that, matlab, you need to first be clear that how the legal, matlab, how the laws of that particular country define a married couple. Matlab, whom they call as
Whom they
married,
recognize.
matlab, yeah, whom they recognize as this is a spouse, that is a spouse, he's your spouse or anything. He means to ask that, so that's all.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Yes. Okay, continue.
I guess you are just dealing with first two issues, maintainability and
The recognition of the same-sex marriage.
acha, then first go with the maintainability. Like just
Yes.
go with the maintainability.
See, these questions are not going to affect your arguments or marking. Okay, these questions are being put to you so that we will understand your case better, right?
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
don't get discouraged. We want to understand your case better because you must have prepared since long. We have got the problem few hours before, right? So you are better prepared than us. So don't get disturbed. Come back to your point, whatever you are arguing. We are
Yes,
questioning so
yes,
that we will learn from you. Fine?
yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your
That so you can smile and argue.
Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, this is nothing. You are not going to lose anything,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mhm.
right? Your researcher smiles more than you. Better, yes, better. Correct. Now you argue.
Yes. Your Honor, according to the fact, as in the year 2018, the Supreme Court of Silverland has already decriminalized the same-sex relationship. Even after that, the state doesn't recognize their marriage as valid marriage. Although my client have embraced their wedding, honoring their individual religious tradition, respecting their own religion in the presence of their family member.
Is
And
there any
the
is there any religious belief, uh, which, or is there any tradition? Can you cite any example where same-sex marriage is not recognized or it is being approved? Is there any express custom or provisions? Nothing like that, right?
yes,
So
Your
on
Honor.
what basis you say, or if you have it, or if you don't have, then on what basis you say that their religion has already recognized them?
Your Honor, it is given in the fact
That is why we're asking
itself.
the whose fact is this, sir? Whose fact? Now you are presenting your case, so whose fact you are presenting? Your fact, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct. So nowhere it is admitted. When it is being questioned, that doesn't mean it is admitted. If it is not admitted, you prove it. So that is why you say that religion has accepted it. Is there any, custom, tradition, or any mythology for me? No, no, we'll give him more time. He started well. Anyways, you argue, you complete your first issue.
Yes, Your Honor. And the petitioner, they have the equivocal right to seek relief under Article 34 for the infringement of their fundamental right, Article 14,
More.
15, 19, and 21, Your Honor.
All right. So one more question. Sorry, this I need to understand this. Why 32? Is there any other provision where you could have prayed for the same relief?
Your Honor, Article 2 to 6 before the High Court.
So why did you go to the High Court?
We have gone there according to the fact.
You had gone there.
Yes, Your Honor.
Where from? Show me from your facts.
Oh,
Yes. Show me from your facts. You had been to High Court.
I beg pardon, Your Honor, it is not in the fact.
Sorry.
I beg pardon, Your Honor, it is not in the fact.
No, no. The question is, have you approached High Court or not?
No, Your Honor.
No. So why did you go to High Court?
However, Supreme Court, as it is the guarantor of the Constitution,
Yes, we
and
respect.
in case of violation of
But
the
the problem with High
fundamental
Court,
right,
you could have approached and prayed the same thing before the High Court. Why didn't you go to High Court?
I beg pardon, Your Honor.
Okay. So we will send you back to High Court, and we would give you liberty to file the writ petition before High Court under 226. Is that fine?
No, Your Honor.
Why?
Just ask your researcher, if I may give you some help, just ask your researcher to go through Article 32 in the Indian Constitution and you'll get your answer there. So this is a very basic thing which you
There is a
should,
difference.
yeah. So this is a there is a very basic difference that why you are not, matlab, why in the facts it is not mentioned to go to the High Court. Instead, it is mentioned that the petitioner approached the Supreme Court, and it is there under Article 32 of the sorry, of that
We'll
particular
explain some.
country's constitution.
Yes.
Okay, you continue. Your researcher will have this answer ready about Article 32 at the end of this argument. Come on. Please.
Yes, Your Honor. And in addition, it is not only a matter of the private FI, Your Honor. Despite the court's ruling in 2018, still the LGBTQIA plus community are facing many implications in the society.
All right.
And as in the case of Indian Banks Association, Bombay and others versus the Mrs. Devkala Consultancy Service, it was held that by the Supreme Court that Supreme Court cannot deny a PIL only on the basis that it is a private matter if it benefits the large public.
Good.
And coming to the second limb of my argument, Your Honor, the PIL filed by One Crore Movement organization for the implementation of UCC. And the One Crore Movement organization emphasizes to eliminate the disparities faced by the Muslim women as compared to their counterpart in the society. And as in the Hindu women and other religion, they have the right of divorce, they have the right of maintenance, which is not which is entitled by the which is given or which is given by the constitution. Still the Muslim women are not entitled to those rights, although section 125 of CRPC, criminal procedure code, has provided that the maintenance. Even after that, not all the citizens of the country are aware of all this provision, Your Honor, and that's why they are getting deprived of exercising their fundamental right, and for which, with the aforesaid argument, the council humbly submit before the honorable court that both the PIL should be maintainable.
All right. Next.
And may I proceed to the second issue, Your Honor?
Okay.
Yes. The second issue is whether the same-sex marriage can be recognized legally and does Constitution protect their rights. Your Honor, the sole purpose of marriage as the respondent relies upon the fact that the basic objective of marriage is the procreation of child. It is not, Your Honor. It is beyond that. It is beyond mating of two individuals only, because the marriage gives that self-respect, that dignity, that security, that fulfillment, also many civil and legal rights, which are they're entitled to. And all the unlike all the heterosexual couple, not the the same-sex couple are not getting those rights. And as in the case of Lata Singh versus State of UP, it was held that an adult has the constitutional right to marry the person of their choice, and so as the queer people are entitled to that right. They should not be away from that right. And the council want to throw light on the fact that there are already 34 countries who have already recognized the same-sex marriage, and Estonia, being the 35th country, soon to be recognized the marriage in 2024. So it is the need of the hour to recognize their marriage, as they are getting deprived of their fundamental right.
The right to get married is a fundamental right. Do you think?
Implied, Your Honor, it is according Article 21.
Okay. Yes. What is
And
20?
also, Your Honor,
What is 21? Article 21.
right to life and personal liberty, Your Honor, and
Correct.
which includes the right to.
Can you just elaborate? Right to get married is a fundamental right.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Yes. Because your cause of action is that only, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor. And as I stated that in the case of Lata Singh versus State of UP, the Supreme Court has held that an adult has the constitutional right to marry the person of their choice. So it is
So
covered
is
under
there any
Article
difference?
21.
Correct, correct. Sir, just a question
Y-
to
yes, Your Honor.
understand. Uh, is there any difference between constitutional right and a fundamental right?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is it?
Fundamental rights, only six fundamental rights are given to the citizen of
And what is a
country.
constitutional right?
All those rights which are given after, 2 to 6, Article 2 to 6 is one of those rights.
Under 32, Article 32 of Constitution, can
Yes, Your Honor.
constitutional right be adjudicated, or only fundamental rights is to be adjudicated?
Only a fundamental right, Your Honor. Actually.
Now you are saying it's a constitutional right, and in 32 only fundamental rights can be adjudicated. Then your petition is to be dismissed because you are saying constitutional right. It is a constitutional right, not a fundamental right, and you are approaching invoking an article or a provision which protects only fundamental right. See, I am not contradicting. I am just trying to clarify the statements that you have made.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right? Yes. How do you counter your own statement? Now, the judgment you cited says that right to get married is a constitutional right.
Yes, Your Honor.
So now you said that constitutional right is not a fundamental right.
However, Your Honor, it will ultimately violate the fundamental right under Article 21, that is right to choose the life partner.
You meant to say the right to choose the life partner is a fundamental right.
Right to choose partner of choice, Your Honor,
Okay.
under
Okay.
Article 21.
Anything else?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
And
please.
uh, according to the ruling of Supreme Court in the case of National Service Legal Service Authority versus an Apte Singh Johar case, it has expanded the definition of a sex in Article 15, and which has already included the gender identity and sexual orientation. And discrimination should not be based only on the sexual orientation. It will violate Article 15. And Your Honor, the non-recognition of the same-sex marriages will particularly violate the constitutional principle such as Article 15, 14, 19, 21.
Okay.
And with the aforestated argument, the Council humbly submit before this Honorable Court that the same-sex marriage should be recognized.
Okay.
And if Your Honor have no any query, my co-counsel will proceed with the next three issues.
No, there is query because you are again and again asking if you don't have queries because we have queries.
Certainly, Your
Queries
Honor.
like you didn't say how are you prejudiced? Okay, you are not allowed to uh, get married to your partner of your choice, but how are you prejudiced? How? What problem you will face?
Your Honor, as in,
You are not denied
where,
basic uh, requirement. I mean, basic amenities.
yes, Your Honor.
You are
As
saying you need to violation, but how are you prejudiced?
yes, Your Honor. As given in the fact, Monica, while approaching the LIC authority for the claim, which was insured by Candler, after the death of Candler, the LIC authority denied her claims by stating that they don't have any legal marriage certificate,
That's a
and for
separate
which,
case. See, counsel, that's a separate
yes, Your
case.
Honor,
You suppose the lady is the nominee, right?
yes, Your
Not
Honor,
necessarily the nominee is to be a wife or a married to the deceased? Not necessarily, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
LIC has made some statement which can be or which can be set aside by the appropriate forum, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's not a cause of action for you. That is absolutely not a cause of action for you. Yes. Anyways, you have you completed with the two issues, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, just let me ask. Should we ask the other mooter to submit? Yes. Yes.
Yes, you're right, sis. There are two speakers in this.
Correct. Correct. I was asking my sister.
I beg pardon.
No, 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 it's okay. It's okay. No problem. Yes. Yes. Issue number three.
May the council seek permission to start with the argument.
Correct. Correct. Please, please continue.
Your Honor, third issue before this honorable court is that whether implementation of UCC will violate the fundamental and personal rights as guaranteed by the Constitution, and does it represent an overreach of the state into the personal laws of its citizens.
What is UCC?
Uniform Civil Code, Your Honor.
Okay. Has it been implemented there?
Uh, May Your Honor please refer to the paragraph number 1. The Portuguese state of the Silverland nation has already implemented UCC.
All right. Okay.
Much obliged.
Hmm.
Your Honor, I humbly submit before this honorable court that Uniform Civil Code does not infringe the individual's fundamental and personal rights. Rather, it is a strategic move to promote equality and justice by eliminating disparities in the personal law. It is further submitted that UCC aims to incorporate modern and progressive aspects into existing personal law. Also, under the Constitution of Silverland, under Part 4, there is a direction given to the state that the state shall make effort to implement a uniform civil code throughout the country. Also, this court have many times recognized that UCC will promote equality and it should be implemented in the nation. As in the case Sabanu Begum versus Muhammad Ahmad Khan, this honorable court opined the importance of UCC. Then how does it infringe the fundamental rights? Also, Article 44 remains non-justifiable before this court. But if the state, also the ruling party is inclined to implement UCC, but it has been it has been so long that the state is unable to implement UCC. And due to that, the Muslim women community faces disparities as compared to their counterparts. Also, the basic human rights protect the rights to be treated equally, and also all the legal matters should be done by the state in a unified manner. Then it is the need of the hour to implement UCC. Also, it is a matter of national policy, Your Honor, and the fundamental in the nature of governance. It does not show it does not represent an overreach the state into personal laws. Concluding this, A well-crafted UCC, approached with a commitment to uphold constitutional values, serves as a legitimate exercise of the state authority, and it ensures uniformity without affecting the personal and fundamental rights as guaranteed by the Constitution. If Your Honor do not have any query, may I please proceed with issue 4?
No, you presented the research paper, all right, but how your argument is connected to the facts of this case? You did not speak a single line about the facts of the case. Whatever you said, it's like a literature. You read it, we heard it, but how it is connected to this case? Did you say a
Uh,
single line about the facts and how the facts are related to UCC?
I beg pardon, Your
We
Honor.
are not here to read, I mean, to listen to the literatures that you have
I
downloaded
beg,
from Google.
I beg
You have
pardon,
to,
Your Honor.
yes, yes, please.
The One Code Nation organization has filed UCC before this honorable court, which is in a motive or which is in a campaign to empower the Muslim women community as they face disparities. Thus, implementing a uniform civil code will help them to be treated equally as as their counterparts are treated.
Counterparts means
Members of the other communities, Your Honor.
I didn't get that.
Uh, for your kind reference, Your Honor, as the
Yes.
Hindu women, they get they get maintenance after the divorce, but no such codified provision is present for the Muslim women.
Okay.
Also, polygamy is not prohibited under the Muslim community as Islamic law allows that, but it is prohibited for the other communities who have a codified law.
Okay. So here, the present case.
Yes, Your Honor.
So how are you connecting with your facts? Am I yet to know?
Your Honor may kindly refer to the paragraph number 9 that
Correct.
the
Of nine
One Code
of
organization has
nine of.
filed the PIL. 9 of the given fact.
Okay.
The One Code Nation organization has filed the petition
Okay. Then
to implement UCC or to direct the state to implement UCC to empower the Muslim women with equitable rights.
can a court direct uh, the government to implement a particular law?
Your Honor, since the Muslim women community are facing disparities, which is a violation of their fundamental rights, thus being the protector of the rights, the court may be pleased to declare the state,
You
to
see,
direct the state.
see, formal. Acha, all right. Anything else?
Your Honor, may I proceed to the issue number 4?
Yes. What is issue number 4?
Issue number 4 before this honorable court is that whether denial
I
of the
just want to
adoption.
clarify one thing. Just a second. I just want to clarify that I'm there.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm there. You say I'm listening.
Yes. Please continue.
Your Honor, issue number 4 is that is the refusal to give adoption for a LGBTQIA couple a violation of their right. Your Honor, firstly, I shall establish that what is adoption and why it should be treated as a violation of the fundamental right. Your Honor, adoption is a wonderful opportunity for the abandoned child to get a protective and caring family and the parents who are unable to reproduce child to get a child and enjoy their parenthood. Your Honor, since our client belongs to LGBTQIA plus community and they are not able to reproduce a child through biological process or by using any technology, the only option that is in our hand is adoption. Since the Central Park Administrative Authority, Your Honor may kindly refer to the paragraph number 7, that the authority denied the couple, stating that unmarried or LGBTQIA couple to jointly adopt a child are not allowed. But the heterosexual people are very much allowed. Since only making provision on the basis of gender is a discrimination of the fundamental rights. Also, Article 21 protects the right to protect. It speaks about the right to life and personal liberty. It also includes to make a family. If a couple will adopt a child, thus they will complete that family. Thus, it is also a exercise of their right. So, the denial of the administrative authority clearly discriminates our right, and thus the council humbly pray to this court to give the adoption right to the couple.
Anything else?
Your Honor, may I please proceed to the issue number 5?
What is issue number 5?
Issue number
Yes.
5 before this on
No,
the.
no, no.
Yes, Your Honor.
Adoption, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
The authority who has rejected the uh, prayer for adoption, Center for Adoption Resources Authority, right,
Yes, Your Honor.
has rejected your application for adoption,
Yes, Your Honor.
right? To that effect, what is your prayer?
Your Honor, since the ground of the denial is only on the basis of gender,
Yes.
but in the Nalsa case, the court has already treated us as a third gender, and we are also entitled to enjoy all those fundamental rights which are enjoyed by the citizen of this country. So that means since other other individuals are entitled to that, we are also very much entitled to get that right. So why
Correct.
we shall not be
Correct.
allowed?
Correct. Absolutely. We will deal with that. But the question is, there is a rejection against you. An authority which is constituted under the law has rejected your application, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Even if we recognize this rejection is there, you cannot
Yes, Your Honor.
get the opportunity of adopting. That order of rejection will always remain. No.
As far as I am aware, it is the discretion of the court to direct the authority to reconsider the matter.
You have not made any prayer to that effect.
I beg pardon, Your Honor, but I shall be making it the prayer during the last submission.
No, but your memorial, I can see your memorial, it doesn't show that. That even if we say that, okay, henceforth, the adoption by the LGBT community or on the ground it was rejected, henceforth it is uh, recognized or accepted. But your rejection, that rejection which has been done by the authority, CARA, always remains. It will remain. So you cannot adopt.
Certainly, Your Honor, but if our marriage is recognized before by this honorable court, then we may get an opportunity to reach the authority and
So
showing a
you are
valid
not
marriage
making any prayer.
certificate.
You are not making any prayer against CARA. You are just want that the adoption, a marriage is to be recognized.
Certainly, Your Honor, but since the denial of the ground that we are not a married couple, we do not have a legally married certificate. So, if this marriage is recognized by this honorable court, then we may approach the authority and showing that certificate, we may pray them to reconsider the matter.
That's sort of, see, counsel, you have to understand. Suppose your marriage is not recognized, then you don't want any adoption. You don't want to adopt. Do you have any alternative prayer that even if my marriage is not recognized, we are entitled to, adopt a child?
I beg pardon, Your Honor, if this
Are you
court
getting what I'm saying?
allow. Yes, Your Honor.
Suppose your marriage is not recognized, fine, but still you are entitled to adopt, considering
Yes,
your submission on the philosophy of adoption. That adoption is a
yes, Your Honor.
wonderful opportunity to give an abundant child, family care, so on, so, so on, so, so on, so. That means a child's right, an abundant child's right to get a family, to get a life, directly depends upon your marriage. Yes, from your
Certainly not,
submission.
Your Honor.
No, from your submission. What we are informing, that the child's right to live, right to have good life, is dependent on the recognition of your marriage, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
That is what you want to submit.
Your Honor, may the court allow us to make an amendment to the prayer
Under
and
which
thus
provision?
also pray.
Is there any
Your
provision
Honor,
to
Your
amend the
Honor, may I
prayer?
please take the help of our researcher?
Yes, yes, researcher is always ready to help you.
Much obliged, Your Honor.
Yes, which provision? And now, what? That's separate thing. Provision. What are the conditions or the ingredients you require to amend an application? What are the ingredients to be satisfied to amend the application? Or I'll put it otherwise, making a little easier for you. If this will not happen, then amendment can be allowed.
Your
If
Honor, may I please get an extension as I am running out of time?
we are extending, no problem.
Much
No, no, no,
obliged,
no,
Your
no.
Honor.
You don't want extension. We want extension of time for clarification,
Okay.
for our
Much
clarification.
obliged, Your Honor.
Now, I gave
Uh,
you a hint. Gave you a hint. If this and this will not happen, then the court can allow the amendment. Amendment. All right. Any other point? Come to issue number 5. We'll conclude.
yes, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to issue number 5?
Yes, yes. LIC claim to.
Yes, Your Honor. Uh, Your Honor, Monica's pursuit of LIC is deep rooted in her relationship with Candler. And Candler, while making the insurance bond, has made Monica as the sole beneficiary, as to say, as nominee, to get all the benefits if any misfortune or if any tragedy happens. Since it is a contractual obligation and the objective of the insurer is very much clear that Monica is the sole beneficiary, thus the denial of the LIC thus the denial of the LIC only on the basis of the absence of a valid marriage certificate is against the procedure established by law. As Section 39 of the Insurance Act says that nominee refers to only the hands which are entitled to get the sum or which are entitled to get the money. Also, in the case of Savati Devi versus Usha Devi, the court held that nominee indicates the hand which is authorized to receive the money. Thus, the LIC's claim is discriminative of the fundamental rights and the rights of entitlements, Your Honor. That is why I humbly submit to this court to direct the LIC authority to entitle the money and provide the money to Monica, which is entitled. to get that.
All right. This is your submission.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now we have two fundamental questions to understand. If LIC
Certainly, Your
has
Honor.
rejected your application, whether PIL is the option, PIL is the remedy.
Certainly not, Your Honor. But the very grounds for denial is absence of a valid marriage
Now
certificate,
that
which
leads
is
to my second
grounded.
question. Got it. Very good. Now that leads to
Yes,
the
Your
second
Honor.
question. When you put nominee, okay, I accept the first part of your submission that it gives a hand to receive the money or compensation, whatever the case may be. But you should know that nominee backed by a relationship with the nominee. Nominee is never mentioned independently.
Yes, Your
It
Honor.
is always mentioned with a relationship, isn't it?
Yes, Your
What
Honor.
was the clause or what was the relationship mentioned in the form?
Certainly, I did not get your question, Your Honor. Please, can
When
you
you write
repeat it?
nominee, when you
Yes,
write
Your Honor.
nominee, right? Nominee is just backed by the relationship with the nominee. Otherwise, nominee,
Like husband, father,
husband,
mother,
father, yes,
son, daughter.
right.
Exactly. So
In your case, what was the relationship?
he's asking a very, matlab, the thing is ki when
Yes, Your Honor.
while applying for LIC, when Chandler said that Monica is his nominee, then there must be some relationship that he must have cited beside it, like we normally do. So
Yes.
my brother here is trying to ask that what is that relationship? Matlab, if they are like the spouses, like you said, if they are the spouses, at the time of filing of the nomination or filing of the LIC, was their marriage valid or like, he's asking basically that. So I'm trying to simplify the question for you if only you get it. So I hope I'm like implying the
Yes.
correct thing
Correct.
as
Absolutely.
Certainly, Your Honor. But as far as the council is aware, there is no need to mention any blood relation or
No,
the
we are not
relation
saying
who is.
blood relation, sir. We are not saying blood relationship, but there must be some relationship. Generally, in LIC forms, it is mentioned. If you have seen the forms,
Your Honor, spouse might be that relation.
spouse,
Certainly, Your Honor.
all right. When you write spouse, then obviously you need to prove it. There must be some legally recognized relationship.
That is the issue before this
So
honorable court, Your Honor. See,
they have rightly rejected.
that is why we have mentioned this in our PIL that it is deeply rooted with the recognition of our marriage.
Correct.
If
So
Your Honor
again,
do not, yes,
sorry.
Your Honor.
so I just want to ask here. So hmm, you feel that if your marriage is given, matlab is made legal and is given a legal certificate, so this LIC problem that you have with the LIC will be sorted out. Am I right?
Certainly, Your Honor.
Okay.
So again, it comes to personal interest, not a public interest.
Uh, Certainly that, Your Honor. But as my co-counsel has submitted in the first argument that in the case in the case of Indian Banks Association and other versus Mrs. Jivkala Consultancy Services, whether when where it was held that Only on the basis of private interest, the Honorable Court cannot reject the PIL if it is beneficial to a certain section of the society which are being deprived to exercise their rights. Your
Um,
Honor,
Brother,
you're
yes,
muted.
your sorry, sound is mute actually. The video is muted.
Okay,
Prabhu.
what is the sorry? What is the facts of that case you cited?
Your Honor, I need to get the help from my researchers for this matter.
You don't know the facts of this that case.
Your Honor, actually we have made the research and I are aware, but I have not listed in this right now.
They have done the research and you have not done the research.
Uh, Collectively we have done that, but
You should.
that
When you are
section is
citing the judgment, you should know the facts of that case.
certainly, Your Honor. Can I get the
Then
help of my
you don't know
researcher,
the
please?
facts of this case, and you are right. You have cited 3 times this particular judgment.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Then
Can I get help from my researcher, Your Honor?
yes, you need to take help.
You can always get help, but probably let's spare them that.
All right,
There
all
is
right.
like
Anything else?
some kind of. It's okay. Move ahead. If you have anything more, please
Anything
move
else?
ahead.
Your Honor, may I please proceed to the prayer?
Yes.
In the light of the issues raised, arguments advanced, and authorities cited, that this honorable court may be pleased to hold that the writ petition is maintainable since its marriage is recognized. UCC is necessary at this stage, and if allowed to make an amendment by player to direct the LIC authority to provide the claim money to the Monica and or pass any order that it deems fit in the interest of
You
justice,
did not make any
equity.
prayer against CARA. You still didn't make any prayer against CARA.
I humbly beg pardon, Your Honor.
Sorry?
I beg pardon, Your Honor.
No. We are just trying to strengthen your case. You need to make an up. You want an adoption. You want the the child to be adopted, isn't it?
Certainly, Your Honor.
And then you should make a prayer against CRA. You have not made any prayer. What prayer could have been done?
To direct the authority to make some provision to give the adoption right to the LGBTQIA plus individuals.
And you don't want quashing or setting aside the rejection order. We direct it, but that set aside that rejection order will remain always if that is not being set aside or quashed. Are you getting my point?
Yes, Your Honor.
That is a rejection order or not?
Yes, certainly, Your Honor.
Okay, whatever we do, if that rejection order is not set aside or quashed,
Certainly, Your Honor.
then any direction will be applicable in future, not for you.
Certainly, Your Honor. And
So
also
what
to
should be
direct
your
the
prayer?
authority to set aside the rejection of our case and to
Sir,
empower us to
we
adopt a
don't
child.
direct the authority to set aside. We can set aside that order or not.
Yes, Your Honor.
So
The
what
court
should be
may
your
be pleased
prayer?
to set aside that order.
No, make a prayer to that effect. Okay, your amendment. You did not say the provision for amendment, conditions for amendment. However, make an amendment, make the amended prayer. What could be the possible prayer to that effect? This is for your
Your
learning, right?
Honor, certainly,
Yes.
Your Honor.
What could be possible prayer in that light?
Your Honor, may I please be allowed to read the prayer in whole again?
Please. The amended prayer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hmm.
In the light of the issues raised, argument advanced, the authority cited that this honorable court may be pleased to hold that this writ petition is maintainable since its marriage is recognized. UCC is necessary at this time also to set aside the rejection of the authority to grant our and also to make a direction to the authority to make provision for the LGBTQIA couple to get a right of adoption. Also, direct the LIC authority and set aside the order of the rejection and make a provision for the LGBTQIA plus couple to get the claim amount in the insurance and
All right,
or
all right.
pass any order that deems fit in the interest of justice, equity, and good conscience. And for this, the respondent, as in duty bound, shall humbly pray.
All right.
It was an honor argument, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Now the respondent.
All right. With that said, the respondent can join now.
Good evening to this honorable bench. This is the council on behalf of the respondent. The council on behalf of the respondent acknowledges the gracious presence of our ladyship, but however, for the convenience, if it may please, the council seeks the permission of this honorable bench to address the bench collectively as your lordship.
All right, all right.
Most obliged, your lordship. This is the council would deal with issue 1 and 2, spanning for 20 minutes, and my co-counsel would deal with issue 3, 4, and 5, spanning for 20 minutes.
All right.
The council is in the matter of Monica and others versus State Union of Silverland. The council seeks the permission of the honorable bench to proceed with the arguments.
Okay.
Much obliged to lordship. The issue 1, whether the said PIL is maintainable or not, and is it feasible to implement UCC in country like Silverland. The respondent humbly submits that PIL is the litigation that can be entertained even in the most exceptional situation, but the interest of the society, the rule of law, and that the constitutional regime shall be taken into the greatest consideration. In the instant case, the petition filed by them is neither exceptional situation nor there is a violation of a fundamental rights. Further, the PIL filed by them with a prayer that is declaring same-sex marriage valid, implementation of UCC, adoption right, etc. are the matters which request a proper legislation. These are the issues which must be necessarily decided by the legislature, being the elected representative of the citizens. Further, the respondent would like to submit that to legislate any law, it is the duty of the parliament. The judiciary is only vested with the power to interpret the law. Thus, court cannot create rights where none exist, nor they can go on making order which are incapable of enforcement. Therefore, the council on behalf of the respondent humbly submits that the said PIL
Who
is
is the
not
respondent
maintainable.
here? Council, who is the respondent here?
Your Lordship, Union of Silverland is the respondent.
All right. So you are the council appearing for
Union of Silverland.
what is the designation?
Advocate General.
Okay. So
Much
what is
obliged,
the
Your
stand?
Lordship.
Yes, continue, continue.
Uh, Your Lordship, the next issue is whether it is feasible to implement UCC in Silverland. The council would like to humbly submit that Silverland is a country with deep-rooted tradition where the inhabitants adhere to various faiths. 70% practice Hinduism, 20% practice Islam, and remaining 10% follow other religions. Therefore, there are multifaceted challenges which can be faced by the parliament before moving towards enacting a uniform civil code. Further, implementing UCC would require a comprehensive overhaul of existing laws, which can be complex and time-consuming process within the country, while ensuring uniformity in a key legal aspect can be daunting challenge.
Um, I want to interrupt here. I just want to I think I'm just confused. According to the facts of the case, whether the Uniform Civil Code is already um, already मतलब क्या उसको बोलते हैं, लागू हो चुका है या it is not
It's
at all implemented?
already implemented.
Indeed not, your
Okay.
lordship. Uniform Civil Code has been only implemented in the state of Porto Bay, not in the Union of Switzerland.
All right.
Okay.
That is what they are praying that it should be implemented across the country.
Indeed, your lordship.
Right. So you say that it should not be implemented across the country.
Indeed, your lordship.
Okay. So what are your submission to that effect? That what prejudice will be caused to the state if we direct it to be implemented in the entire country?
Your lordship, implementation of UCC shall be unconstitutional as it will have the overriding effect on personal laws as it violates one's right to freedom under Article 25 and Article 26 of the Constitution. The
Okay.
freedom guarantee
Yes,
The
yes,
freedom
continue.
guarant the freedom guaranteed under Article 25 and the cultural rights enshrined in Article 29 give personal laws immunity from amendment or abrogation by the state. Further, this honorable court in one of the case Ghulam Abbas versus State of Uttar Pradesh has already said that state could not interfere with the established customary right to perform their religious ceremonies and functions.
Yes.
Yeah. Further, Uniform Civil Code, by interfering matters such as marriage, divorce, succession, etc., which are integral part of one's religion, will override the personal laws meant to regulate individuals in such religion, and it will thus violate one's right to religion under Article 25 and 26 of the Constitution.
Okay. What is Article
Further,
25
the
and 26?
Article 25 says about the right to freedom of religion.
Okay. So how it will
Much obliged.
violate?
Your Lordship, if the UCC is implemented, like there will be uniformity of marriage, divorce, etc., then the right of an individual to practice their own religion according to their customary rites and ceremonies will be violated. For example, in Hindu law, there is a practice of saptapadi, wearing bharmila, wearing garland. Hindu marriage is a purely sacrament, whereas in Muslim marriage it's a purely contract. So if UCC is implemented in the country like Silverland, if a uniform marriage law is made that the marriage would only be registered, then the religious ceremonies that is required on the Hindu law that would be infringed.
No, that is not going to debar you from the religious practice. That is no way going to debar you. That is an additional procedure which brings uniformity in law, uniformity in recognition of the institution. That no way takes away your right of religious practice.
And also, like, I want to interrupt here. Like, also, in the facts of the case, it is very clearly mentioned that both the parties had followed their respective
Respectively. Yes.
rituals to go for the marriage. So I don't think so it will affect in any way like that. Please
Yes,
continue,
Your
continue.
continue.
Lordship, much obliged, Your Lordship. But Your Lordship, the matters like UCC or marriage are the matters there should be any legislation. So the judiciary is not the appropriate forum to decide or to legislate any law.
No, when you have in one state, it has been implemented. We can make an observation that the central government is expected or is directed to implement the same. We are not saying to judiciary cannot legislate the law, but once it has been there, judiciary can make direction to implement the same.
Indeed, Your Lordship, the question is whether a civil code is deemed feasible or not. It depends on the collective will of the government, judiciary, civil society, and the general public to address these challenges.
Correct. Now, general people by way of a PIL has approached judiciary. Suppose we will hold their prayer, their submissions to be good enough. Then out of three components, two are in favor of implementation. So let's implement it. It's a democratic country. Common people is interested.
Indeed, your
Common
lordship.
people by of a PIL, they are interested. Judiciary feels that okay, let it be implemented. So now majority is there for
Uh,
implementation. What is your submission to that effect? How do you object to that?
Indeed, your lordship.
Navani?
Your lordship.
Yes, yes. Continue, continue.
This court can use its power under Article 42, 142 to fill legislative vacancies to the limited extent of laying down procedural guidelines. So the role of judiciary is only to advise the legislation. It cannot issue direction to the legislature to legislate any law.
No, the law is already there, sir. One state has implemented it. That means there is a legislation.
Indeed, your lordship.
There is something called
Uh,
uh, unitary in nature and federal in structure. Federal in structure,
Indeed, your
unitary in
lordship.
nature.
Indeed, your lordship.
I gave you a hint to answer the query.
Your lordship, the council seeks the permission of this honorable bench to take the help of the researcher.
You can, you can.
Most obliged, your lordship. What?
Okay, come to your next
Uh,
sub.
Most obliged, your lordship. The issue number two is whether same-sex marriage can be recognized legally or not. The council
Okay.
would like to humbly submit that the honorable court that it is up to the parliament to enact a special code regulating non-heterosexual unions on the specific issue that such union would face during the and after the partnership, comprehensively engaging with all stakeholders. Further, courts cannot issue direction granting legal recognition to non-heterosexual marriages because it would require the redesigning of several enactments and rules. Marriage right must be given only through parliamentary process.
Okay. Here I want to interrupt. Okay, fine. Like you said that marriage should be given through parliamentary laws, the legislature should do. But here the petitioner has approached this court on the ground that by denying them those parliamentary legislation itself, since it denied them the legal status, it is unconstitutional because it violates their fundamental rights. So the petitioner has approached this court for those fundamental rights. They have not approached for this court to go for any, to give any legislation or to give any such thing. They have approached this court the legislation by which their marriage was not recognized to to declare it unconstitutional. And I think as a Supreme Court, it has sufficient power under Article 32 to declare any particular law to be unconstitutional, not under Article 32, I guess, but yes. So
Indeed,
I
Your
hope you
Lordship, the
get my
Supreme Court has the
question.
power. Indeed, Your Lordship, the Supreme Court has the power to declare any law unconstitutional. But here there is no constitution, there is no legislation regarding the same. And further, the council would like to submit that the argument advanced by the petitioner that there is a violation of fundamental rights, that is the Article 14, 19, and 21. Article 14 says the right to equality, which does not mean that the right to uniformity. Further, the Article 19, which says the right to freedom of union, this Supreme Court has already said that
A
in
second,
case
what is the
Puttaswamy case,
difference between right to equality and right to uniformity? You said that
Your
the Article
Lordship, right,
14 gives for right to equality, but not right to uniformity. So what does
Your
that
Lordship,
kind of creates a confusion?
right to equality means everyone should be treated equally. Whereas the uniformity means that everything should be in uniform without any reasonable classification. Whereas the Article 14 says that the state has the power to classify reasonably.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Most obliged, Your Lordship.
If
So the Article 19 which says that the right to form union, it doesn't mean right to marriage. Supreme Court has already said in the case Puttaswamy case that the right to form union doesn't mean right to marriage. So the council on behalf of the respondent submits that there is no fundamental right to marriage.
Okay.
Your Lordship, the council further like to draw the attention of the court that the state can impose reasonable restriction on individual autonomy and consent by introducing conditions such as marriage, the minimum age for marriage, and the degrees of prohibited relationships. The heterosexual nature of marriage is one such reasonable restrictions. Further, the non-heterosexual couples have a right to marry would conflict with the tenets of the religion, where marriage is considered between the heterosexual union. Granting legal recognition to such non-heterosexual union would require wide-ranging amendment to various laws.
All right.
The council further like to submit that in the case of Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India, the court held that homosexuals have a right to form a union under Article 21. This court specifically observed that a union doesn't mean right to marry.
Okay.
So the council would like to humbly submit that it is not possible to recognize same-sex marriage.
No, if we recognize on the basis of their choice of partner, and there are certain facilities, certain benefits which directly affects the life and personal liberty, the quality of life, that is entangled with the institution of marriage. Like an LIC policy is not being honored because there is no recognized relationship, right? Like somebody wants to adopt and give a better life to a abandoned child, still that is not being done because there is no recognized recognition to a particular institution called marriage between two persons, right? So expanding the scope of marriage to the extent that it is not just procuration, not just having a child. If we observe that no, you need to recognize their relationship, you need to give them the right, may not be marriage, but uh, institutionalizing their relationship so that right to life, right to personal liberty, not just the LGBT community, but for others will also be protected. Like a child who was supposed to be adopted by them is not being adopted because of non-recognition of the institution. Just because you are not recognizing the marriage or the relationship, a child who was supposed to get a better life is being deprived of. How will you address this issue?
Your Lordship, the legal recognition of non-heterosexual union is a polycentric issue, which cannot be resolved solely by the judiciary. Thus, even if this court recognizes the
Sir,
petition
in
right
your
to marry,
submission, you have been, Mr. Speaker, one, in your submission, you have been continuously telling that you cannot, you cannot, you cannot. We will show you how we can. There are curtain of judgments. We will make it different. We will deal all your judgments and we will show that how we can. We will direct you to do it. Otherwise, we'll issue contempt against you. Are you aware of the powers?
Uh,
Which provisions of the Constitution deals with the powers and jurisdiction of Supreme Court?
Article 32.
32 is not okay. What is 32?
The Constitution's permission to refer the bearer.
Yes, yes, please, please.
Remedies for enforcement of rights conferred by this part.
Yes, the question was uh, mm, what is the powers of Supreme Court? Where it is mentioned.
The council takes some time to research on the same topic.
Now you should have researched it, no? When you have been repetitively saying it, Supreme Court cannot.
I
I
beg your
gave you a
pardon.
scenario. No, it's a process of learning. I gave you a scenario that in such scenario, we are not saying that you need to recognize the marriage. That's a later story. For the betterment of that child, for the betterment of the beneficiary of a LIC policy, if their relationship is recognized, may not be marriage, maybe something else, or allowing them to get the child adopted, get the benefit. The question was your answer to this, and you say that
Uh,
Supreme Court cannot decide this. That's a wrong submission.
Your Lordship, the submission regarding the same issue would be dealt by my co-counsel.
No, you have to answer. You said you are the Advocate General or Attorney General. We
Your
want
Lordship,
this.
then the council seeks permission to the of the bench
You
to
know
decision.
who is an Attorney General? It is not Advocate General. You are appearing for union. It's Attorney General. Okay, who is an
Uh,
Attorney General? Is there? Can you tell us
the
the provision in which Attorney General for India is appointed?
Indeed, Your Lordship. Okay. Article.
Sir, any other submission you have? Any other points you
Indeed,
have
not
to
Your
raise?
Lordship.
Okay, let us hear the second. You keep on researching. We'll come back to you on this question.
Most obliged, Your Lordship.
Yes. Who is the second mooter? Second speaker?
Your Lordship, it is Article 76.
Okay, what Article 76 speaks about?
Article 76
You
says
can
that
open your camera. Your camera is off.
the president shall appoint a person who is qualified to be appointed a judge of the Supreme Court to be Attorney General for India. It shall be the duty of the Attorney General to give advice
Sorry?
to the government of India. It shall be the duty of the Attorney General to give advice to the government of India upon
So
such
who are
legal
you?
matter and
Who are you?
Attorney General.
Who are you? Attorney General?
I beg your pardon, I couldn't get your question.
Who are you? What is your designation?
Attorney General.
Attorney General?
I beg your pardon, still I'm not getting your question.
I mean, Attorney General, what? It's just Attorney General? Or anything else is there?
Attorney General of Union of Silverland.
It is Attorney General of.
For.
There is a huge difference. Why Constitution has specifically mentioned Attorney General for India or for the country. Okay, just a feedback for you. Research on this.
Much
Solicitor
appreciated.
General, Attorney General for. There is a huge difference. Read the, if possible, constitutional debate and the research on why the for is used instead of. It is the Advocate General of the state, but Attorney General for the country, for the nation, for the union.
Indeed, Lord
All
Sir.
right. Good. No problem. Next. Yes.
Good evening to the Honorable Bench. The Co-Counsel would
Madam, what are
seek the
those bottles
permission.
behind you?
They are decorative pieces.
Okay.
The coffee
That
mugs
looks
have been
good.
decorated.
Sorry?
Thank you, Your Lordship. Decorative mugs have been kept. One has the.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, Your Lordship. Good evening to the Honorable Bench. The Co-Counsel would seek the permission of the Honorable Bench to proceed with issue number 3, 4, and 5.
So if the Attorney General has already submitted, who are you?
I beg your pardon, Your Lordship.
Yes, I mean Attorney
I'm
General
an
has already submitted. So who are you?
assistant helper sort of thing. I'm not aware of
Assistant
this
helper.
particular.
What is that?
I'm
Assistant
not
helper?
aware. I'm not. I'm not aware of this particular question, Your Lordship.
Attorney General,
I would.
you can be Solicitor General, you can be Additional Solicitor General, you can be Deputy
Indeed, Your
Solicitor General,
Lordship.
you can be a Central Government Council. All right.
Indeed, Your
Okay.
Lordship.
All right. No problem.
The,
Yes.
the
What are
council would
the
proceed.
questions you are going to address?
Issue number 3 is thus the implementation of UCC would infringe the fundamental rights and the personal rights of the citizens as guaranteed by the Constitution of Silverland. Firstly, the Council would put forth Article 44 says that the state shall endeavour to secure for the citizens a UCC throughout the territory of India. The words are the state shall endeavour and not the state shall enforce. Furthermore, in the Constituent Assembly debate, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has very well cited that the ULC implementation should be voluntary and not imposed. In a secular state, citizens belonging to different communities must have the freedom to practice their own religion and observe their own way of life. ULC implementation would violate the fundamental provisions or fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution under the Article 25 and 29. Furthermore, it is the discrimination and not the difference which is the root of inequality. Henceforth, the personal laws, being different and not discriminatory, are not violative of Article 14 of the Constitution of Silverland. In the Porto Bay Civil Code, the fact sheet is very clear that the state of Porto Bay has successfully implemented a UCC. The council would state certain facts. Porto Bay Civil Code is discriminatory towards the already marginalized genders, sexuality, and religions.
How?
For example, I
How?
would I would
No, you
substantiate
answer
the
now.
matter.
No, and substance it now. We'll forget by
Indeed,
the
Your
time.
Lordship. Indeed, Your
Yes.
Lordship. There are certain provisions regarding to marriage and divorce which are discriminatory.
Such
The Portugal Civil Code has not recognized bigamy or polygamy for the Muslim community, but they have granted a Hindu man has the right to marry if his wife is unable to conceive or is unable to give birth to a son at the age of 30 years. Furthermore, in the respect or the matter of divorce, a husband can claim divorce if the wife commits adultery, whereby such relief can be claimed by the wife only if the husband commits adultery with public scandal, keeps a mistress at the conjugal home, or abandons her. There are certain provisions which facilitate the husband's adultery to be proven, whereby the wife's adultery need not to be proven. Only the fact that she has committed an adultery is the ground for divorce.
these are all subject to challenge.
Indeed,
Those
your
provisions can
lordship.
be challenged.
Indeed, your
Right.
lordship. But
So
whereby,
we are not saying that this is to be implemented. We are not saying that.
indeed, your
You
lordship.
can remove all these defects and make a better law.
Indeed, Your Lordship. But in a country where such diverse dimensions in the matter of religion and culture does not require a uniformity of personal laws. What is required is we need to reform the personal laws and make it gender just.
What steps your government has taken to modify the personal laws? You have not taken any steps
In,
to that effect also.
Indeed, the personal laws would be changed whereby the society is in a state to accept those changes, those amendments. The council
Anything
on
else?
behalf of respond. Indeed, Your Lordship.
Any other points?
Indeed, Your Lordship. The implementation of ULC is not only violative to the Article
ULC.
25 and
Acha, ULC
in our
so far as the fact.
proposition,
Okay, okay,
indeed,
yes.
indeed, Your Lordship. Implementation of ULC is not only violative of Article 25 and 29 of the Constitution, but are
What is
violative
Article
to the rights of
29?
the tribe. Just need the help of the Bear Act, can I?
Obviously.
Protection of interest of minorities. Any
Yes.
section
So
of the
how it
citizens,
is how it is violative of 29?
the tribal groups have been following their customary practices and which has been guaranteed by the constitution, whereby there is another example. The constitution itself protects the local customs in Nagaland, article 371A. The similar concerns has been raised by the tribal groups like Rashtriya Adivasi Ekta Parishad, which approached the Supreme Court in 2016 seeking protection of their custom and religious practices from a potential UCC. In tribal territories of Nagaland, existing customary laws have primacy over federal laws with respect to personal issues like marriage, land ownership, etc. Henceforth, the
Council,
implementation of
what is the
ULC.
importance?
Indeed,
What is the
indeed,
importance
Your
of
Lordship.
customary law and how you can prove a custom? What are the
A
conditions
custom
that
is
a
a
custom? Huh.
Indeed, Your
Yes.
Lordship. Indeed. A custom is a practice which has been followed by the time immemorial. It should be continuous and it is undisturbed.
All right. So,
And henceforth,
implementing
these
the
customs.
uniform
Indeed, Your
code,
Lordship.
implementing the
Indeed,
uniform
Your
code
Lordship.
will never take away the rights of indigenous people or community. They are free to continue with their customs. There is no bar.
Uniformity deals with these personal matters, and introduction of the ULC would require a legislation to be made to that effect, whereby the legislation will state in these particular matters a uniform law is to be followed, whereby all the citizens will be bound to follow that particular law itself.
All right. Anything else?
Indeed, Your Lordship. Um, the Council would state the observations of the 21st Law Commission, which has stated very well that UCC is not desirable, neither required at this particular state.
Okay. Leave
Cultural
UCC. Come to the next.
diversity,
Correct. Okay. 21st law.
indeed,
Leave
Your
UCC.
Lordship.
Anything else?
Indeed, Your Lordship. Shall I proceed with the issue number 4?
Yes.
Issue number 4 is the adoption rights to be granted to LGBTQ plus community, and the
Yes. What is
respondent
your
argues,
submission?
indeed, Your Lordship, adoption to be made in the Union of Silverland requires a marriage certificate. If you want to adopt a child as a couple, the requirement is a marriage certificate should be there. A legal marriage certificate should be there, whereby the current adoption rules followed in the Union of Silverland are the CARA, the Central Adoption Resource Authority, the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act. These particular regulations do not recognize same-sex couples to be designated as the adoptive parents of the child. The current adoption rules of the country CARA allow unmarried persons to adopt children only in individual capacity. Unmarried couples, including queer couples, cannot jointly adopt a child. The eligibility
What is
criteria
the
for the
problem?
prospective
Council, what is the
Indeed, Your Lordship.
problem? If you allow, what is the problem?
Indeed, Your Lordship. There has been studies relating to the same effect. Children raised by same-sex parents may have limited exposure to, to traditional gender roles, which could impact their understanding of gender roles and gender identity. Whereby the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights has very well claimed the right to equality does not mean equating unequals, and homosexual couples are in different category than in heterosexual couples for the purpose of having children. Whereby, according to NCPCR, adoption occurs in similar socio-cultural environment, which is not possible in the scenario of LGBTQ plus couples. Indeed, Your Lordship. Henceforth, the Council for the respondent praised there should be a proper legislative system regarding to the same issue.
So the question remains unanswered. What is
Indeed, Your
the
Lordship.
fault of that kid who was supposed to be adopted because lacuna in your system?
Right?
Yes, please.
No, that's
Indeed,
all.
Your
Like I
Ladyship.
totally agree with the question that even I have the same question also. I mean, you said about certain things which are really very controversial right now when you say it, and you try to defend on the ground that the if a LGBTQ couple will adopt, then the children will not that socio-economic thing that
They won't be
socio-economic
having the idea of
the
gender.
gender roles,
They
the
won't have the.
traditional, yeah. So it's bit,
True, that's not
Indeed, Your
correct.
maybe I
Lordship.
could please answer this question.
Yes, please.
The very said fact has been backed by certain studies which the NCPCR has itself conducted. NCPCR is the authority for the protection of the child rights,
Correct.
where whereby the regulations which are implemented in the Union of Silverland for the purpose of adoption does not recognize the same. The child, there are studies which prove that the child
Which studies? Can you
adopted
refer
by
to any of these studies, Council?
indeed your lordship, indeed your lordship.
Who did these studies? What is the process of that study? What methodology they adopted?
There has
Can
been
you just
surveys conducted.
who
Indeed your
conduct?
lordship,
Who did the survey?
indeed your lordship.
What was the
The
objective of
paper
the survey?
titled indeed your lordship. Shall I cite the study?
Yes.
Indeed. The, the Council would further wish to highlight the studies which suggest adoption rights, if given to LGBTQ plus community, would be critical for the development of children. In India, in the Union of Silverland, the Silverland Psychiatric Society, which consists of 7,000 mental health professionals in Silverland, released a statement stating that children brought up by non-heterosexual parents may face stigmatization, and that is important that the civic society is adequately sensitized. The Silverland Psychiatric Society is very cognizant that a child adopted into a same-gender family may face challenges, stigma, and/or discrimination along the way. It is imperative that, once legalized, such parents of the LGBTQIA spectrum bring up the children in gender-neutral and unbiased environment. There are certain studies held in the United States of America. Shall I cite those studies, Your Lordship?
What is the methodology adopted in that study?
There have been surveys conducted whereby the same-sex couples have adopted children.
Okay.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Then what happened? What happened to those children?
The children are differently treated than that of the homosexual couples adopting of the children, adoption of the children.
Sorry? Differently
The
means
differently, as in they are
you have to be
stigmatized,
very
they are
particular. They are
Indeed, your
discriminated.
lordship. I beg your pardon. They are discriminatized, they are stigmatized,
Then
they do not get a
that
social.
is your fault. You are not being able to regulate it properly. Suppose in a heterosexual couple family, a child is not treated properly. Then also you have you should also protect their rights, isn't it?
Indeed, your
In a
lordship.
normal family, as for you, for us, both the families are normal. Okay,
Indeed, your lordship.
homosexual couple, heterosexual, both are considering your submission in a normal conventional family. If a child is ill treated
Indeed, your lordship.
by the parents, then are you not going to protect them, protect the child?
Indeed, your lordship. The child's
Then
right is the
if
prima facie
in
interest in
such a
this.
condition, yes, so in such a condition, what your CWC, your child welfare committee will take care of it. If they are being
Indeed, your
not
lordship.
treated properly, they, whether the study says that because they are homosexual they have been treated, uh, otherwise they are not being treated properly,
Certainly, certainly not, your lordship.
then
Please
you
con
empower your child welfare committee, you empower your implementing agencies, police, to protect their right, to supervise, to have, you see, you are citing a survey of UK, right?
Indeed, your lordship.
In UK of something you have cited now. Now you know they have a system of probation. Suppose a child is ill-treated, any in any condition, in a normal family or in a special family, whatever the case may be, the police puts them into probation. Continuous, every day supervision goes on.
Indeed, your lordship.
In our country, we don't have that.
Indeed, your
So
lordship.
just
That is a
because
fault
we
on
don't
behalf.
have, yes, just because we don't
Indeed,
have
your
that
lordship.
system, can we blame the individuals? No,
Certainly not, your lordship.
it might be otherwise also. They might give, because they cannot have their own child, they cannot procreate. They will give a better life to that person, to that kid. It may so happen also. Anyways,
Indeed,
what's
your
your
lordship.
next submission? So far as LIC claim is concerned.
Just last submission regarding
Yes,
this issue, if your
yes,
lordship permits.
correct,
UN
correct, correct.
Convention on the UN Convention on the Right of Child, which is most ratified by 195 countries in the world, does not mention that a child can be adopted by a same-sex couple. Furthermore, the provisions of Section 7 and 8 of Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act has categorically mentioned a Hindu male and a Hindu female have the capacity to adopt a child. If
All
the
right.
gra- if LGBTQ couples have are granted with the right of adoption, then it would violate the pres- existing laws
Next
in
issue.
regard to the topic of indeed your
Next issue.
lordship. Issue number 5 is that the denial of LIC claim to Monica based on absence of a recognized marriage certificate infringe upon her rights and entitlements as designated by Chandler.
Yes. Time is extended.
The
No problem.
council, indeed your lordship, much obliged, the council would state that the there have been authorities like insurance ombudsman, the consumer courts, which are at the lowest level to hear the complaints and resolve the issues. Furthermore, the insurance ombudsman provides policies and procedural changes when relevant
No,
issues
that's
are
not the question.
identified.
Council. Wait. That is not the question. It is because you are not
In-
recognizing the LIC policy has been rejected.
Indeed,
Now
your
the
lordship.
ombudsman, now these consumer court, wherever they go, they'll say that the government doesn't recognize this relationship.
Indeed, your lordship.
So
The
because of your
claim
fault, somebody is not getting the legitimate claim.
Indeed, your lordship, whereby the LIC policies, there is a requirement where when you designate a person as your sole beneficiary, the requirement is you need to establish a personal relationship by a proof.
That's what
And
I was. We were asking the other side, right?
indeed, your lordship,
That is not required. Why are you putting this clause?
whereby
There
I would
cannot,
suspend
there
substantive.
can be no recognized relationship. Still, somebody wants to give the benefit to someone, can't he?
Indeed, your lordship.
Right? Let's say Mr. X wants to give his, uh, you know, after death benefits to somebody, Mr. Y, who is no way connected to him. There is no
Indeed, your
relationship.
lordship.
Can't he give that? So why are you
Certainly,
putting
yes,
this
your
clause?
lordship.
Then this part we will hold in their favor. Are you agreeable to it?
The council would further state that whereby the sole Chandler know is very well known of the fact the same-sex marriage is not yet recognized in the Union of Silverland, then he should not have designated Monica as the sole beneficiary. Designation of the Monica as the sole beneficiary as per the LIC policies requires a personal relationship proof whereby the petitioner himself is unable to substantiate that matter. There is nowhere the fault with the LIC policies. They have to abide by their policies.
Okay. Anything else?
Indeed, Your Lordship, um, the council would put forth that petitioners could have approached the lowest level or the appropriate forums for this particular issue,
Okay.
whereby the legislation provides for the specific forums to be addressed for this particular issue. They should have approached there first.
So alternative remedy is available.
Alternative remedies is available. Indeed, Your Lordship.
So under which provision? So which are the forums?
The insurance ombudsman, the consumer courts,
So under which provision he could have approached to the consumer court?
Consumer Protection Act.
Which provision?
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Which provision?
Just a second, Your Lordship. I would refer to the Consumer Protection Act.
No, no, we won't give you the second. Why are we bound to give you second? You
Certainly
may
not,
pray
Your
for
Lordship.
time. Just a second. You obliging us by answering it? This is not the way to answer.
The Council begs pardon. We plead your
Yes,
ignorance,
yes,
Your
you should
Lordship.
learn. You said, "Ki, my lord,
Indeed,
may kindly allow." Just a second. What kind of some submission is this? You're appearing in Supreme Court, madam. You
extremely
should answer.
sorry, Your Lordship.
No, no, no. Don't take it to that extent. I'm just trying to teach you. This is a process of learning. Okay. We are not going to
Indeed, Your
deduct
Lordship.
your marks, or we're not taking it anything. This is not the way you should answer. Your first footer was saying you cannot, you cannot, you cannot. You're okay. Just this is we all are learning, right?
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Okay.
The
Find
Council
out
would
which
keep this in
find.
mind.
Ah,
Indeed, Your
so
Lordship.
find out which pro. If you are saying there is an alternative remedy, which provision? You are for the respondent, right?
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Okay.
Complaint should be instituted with a district forum, Section 11 of the Consumer Protection
That way,
Act 2019.
is it district forum? Just see to it. Is it district forum?
Indeed, Your Lordship.
What is the full name?
Consumer Redressal Forum. District Consumer Redressal Forum.
Forum or commission?
Forum. Forum, Your Lordship.
In 2019 Act.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Just read that provision. Anyways, you read it later. All right. Anything else?
The Council seeks permission of the Honorable Bench to proceed with the prayer.
Yeah,
Yes,
please proceed with the prayer.
Much obliged, Your
Yeah.
Ladyship, Your Lordship. The
please.
Council, the Council on behalf of the respondent prays same-sex marriage not to be legalized, adoption rights not to be granted to LGBTQ plus couples, ULC implementation of ULC should not be made in the Union of Silverland. Furthermore, a direction to the LIC policies to disburse the death benefit amount should be dismissed and or pass any other order, writ or direction as the honorable bench deems fit in the light of justice, equity and good conscience.
All right. Anything else?
Certainly not, Your Lordship.
All right. If any rebuttals from both of the team, you
Thank you,
can
the
go ahead
honorable
now.
bench.
No, I don't think rebuttal would be required. They
Your
have taken
Honor,
much.
if the petitioner is allowed to ask a counter question to the learned respondent.
You will ask questions to us.
No, the learned respondent.
Acha. I thought you will ask
Right,
questions to us.
rebuttal. Okay.
No, 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 Your Honor.
Okay, you continue.
Your Honor, in the fact itself, it is given that the ruling party is aligned to implement UCC. It is the Silverland Religious Union, another NGO, who have contention or who are stating that by implementing UCC, the personal laws are going to be affected. So, if they just can confirm what are the rights they are aware of that they are in danger that will be affected by implementing the UCC.
That's a question
Council
you are asking to
please.
them. You can make objection to their but don't put questions. They are not supposed to answer to your questions,
Certainly,
right?
certainly wrong.
So if you have some objection to their grounds or the submissions they have made, you can make that objection. But you're not supposed to put them questions. They are not supposed to answer your questions, right?
Certainly,
Yes,
Your
sir.
Honor.
Anything else?
Our objection is that they submitted that the personal laws are going to be affected and the ruling party is inclined to implement UCC. So, how are they going to prove that?
Is
They're
it
going to
mentioned in
prove
the
that.
back?
Council would seek permission of the honorable bench to answer the particular question.
Yes, please.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. The fact sheet has very well mentioned Silverland's ruling body leaning towards the majority faith was inclined towards ULC. However, they expressed concerns about sanctioning LGBTQ plus marriages, citing religious tenets. They show their reluctance in court's interference in these issues. These particular issues include both the issues as per ULC and the LGBTQ plus marriage sanctioning. Henceforth, the Silverlands ruling body, though leaning towards the majority faith, whereby the Silverlands ruling body is an elective representative, they have to listen to the majority faith, but they deny the court's interference in these particular issue. They require a proper legislation to be made for the said matter.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anything else?
Your Lordship, if this honorable bench gives the permission, the co-counsel would like to address the same issue.
Sets which issue?
Same question put forward by the learned counsel for the
Yes.
petitioner.
I think it is not required, but still, if you want to take some time, no problem. By the time you get your
Most obliged, Your
mark
Lordship.
and all everything done, yes.
There are certain opposition regarding the same, like Silverland Religious Union argued that ULC might infringe upon their established rights under personal law.
Okay.
So, considering a major opposition, ultimately whether ULC is deemed feasible will depend on the collective will of the government, judiciary, civil society, and the general public to address these challenges. So, it is not the right time for the reformation. These controversies need to be given sufficient time for instilling confidence in the community. Otherwise, these efforts toward common will be counterproductive, leaving minority class more insecure and vulnerable.
All right.
Much obliged to Lordship.
Okay. Anything else? I think I don't have anything to put. If my sister has got anything to, I'm actually working on your marks. So yes,
Your Lordship, the council seek permission of this bench to question the petitioner that in the memorial under the jurisdiction they have mentioned that they are submitting on the behalf of the respondent. Can you clarify about the same?
In the statement of jurisdiction page submitted by the petitioner member, there has been a separate para relating to the same.
your competition is over. Now you guys want to discuss among yourself, you can. But I think your competition, I mean, your participation is over. I mean, whatever, because we are working on your marks, right?
Your Honor,
Yes.
petitioner want to clarify that it is a typological error and which for which I beg pardon.
Don't do that in henceforth.
Certainly, Your Honor.
You see, your friends are objecting to it. Don't do that, isn't it?
Certainly, Your Honor.
Correct.
All right. If the sessions end, any other participants have any questions, or we move forward to the last second?
No questions as such.
All right.
Thank
Ma'am,
you, Your
we have one
Lordship.
question.
To us,
No, Your Honor. The memorial committee for the clarification of the fact.
that is over now. Come out of the moot court zone. Don't be so
Uh,
serious.
Okay,
It's all learning
Your Honor.
process.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Okay.
you should write it
Thank
to
you,
the
Your
memorial
Lordship.
committee for clarification, not to your lordships. Okay?
Thank you, Lordship.
And one of you, please mute yourself. All right. Uh, as we reach the session's end, we, the team, would like to extend our deepest appreciation to our estimators for their invaluable contributions and insights. And especially, I have seen Mr. Prakusha arguing in the court various times, and his
Are-
speech was so clear that we all are mesmerized by those 2 and 3 minutes. And your
we all are
guidance
learning.
has changed this competition and also left an indelible mark on the minds of our participants. That I am for sure. And we are immensely grateful for your generosity in the sparing your valuable times for us. Thank you so much, sir. And Madam Pratyusha
Thank
ma'am,
you
we
for
are so
giving
grateful
us
to you.
opportunity. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to learn. We indeed learned a lot. And our comments, everything is just to make you learn because we all have learned from moot court only. Okay.
Indeed, Your Lordship. The
So
council would
don't
keep
take
this in
anything
mind.
personally. Don't think that I could have done better. I did not answer this. Don't feel bad. Okay. Everybody is a winner. If we win, you lose, no problem. Nobody is asking us how many moot courts you have owned, how many moot courts you have participated. Nobody is asking. But the learning from those moot courts we have lost miserably also is helping. Right? All the best. Anything else? My sister wants to
Thank you, Your
discuss
Thank you,
Lordship.
Your
about this.
Lordship.
She inspires everyone a lot. If anything else you want to say, you share and then we'll wind up.
I
Pratyusha,
think
you want to
everything is
say
clear.
anything?
Oh, I'm very glad that you people cooperated. Actually, I was doing several other things, trying to manage everything and doing this. So, but
Everybody
I
is
have
not
heard
like
everyone.
multitasking like you know. You are multitasking. Okay. Thank you. And God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Lakshya.
Shilpa,
Thank you,
we are
Alexis.
sharing the mark sheet in the WhatsApp group, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Lakshya.
Thank you, Alexis.